Here's the answers for day one, problem one. State the value of n for which the trinomial is a perfect square trinomial. We need to figure out what number to put right here so that this ends up being a trinomial that factors as a perfect square trinomial. We want this to factor as x plus 6 squared. So in order for that to happen, what does this number right here have to be? It would have to be 36. Now, how did we figure that out? You take half of the coefficient of x, so you take half of 12, which is 6, and then you square the 6. That's how you discover what n is. Let's follow that process on the next ones. So take half of the negative 24, that makes negative 12, and then square the negative 12. That means that n is 144. Next one, take half of the 5, so that makes 5 halves, and then square that. So that means n is 25 fourths. And the last one, can you figure out what n is? It has to be an 8. Now, if you're not able to get that in your head, you can follow through the process. Take half of the coefficient of x, which is the n, and then square that, and that's how you get the 16. Now from here, figure out what the n would have to be. This is 1/4 n squared equals 16. Now multiply both sides by 4, so n squared equals 64, and then take the square root, so n equals 8. Day 1, problem 2. Rewrite the polynomial function in this format right here, which is called vertex form of a parabola, by completing the square. Completing the square was the process we were doing in question 1. We want to figure out what constant term to put right here so that we make a trinomial that factors. So again, the technique is to take half of this number, which ends up being negative 2, and then to square it. That makes positive 4. So add a 4 on right there, but then put minus 4 next to it to compensate, so that you're not changing the overall value of the right side of this equation. Then factor the trinomial piece of this, which is the first 3 terms. That makes x minus 2 squared. And on the end, as a separate constant, is the minus 4. Now we've created the format that we wanted.